Hey guys, it's Matt here, and while I was working with a client, I came up with this concept for a follow-up sequence for an email, and I want to explain this to you guys so that you guys understand it as well as I do inside of my head. So whenever that happens, I put it on a keynote presentation and flowchart it. So that's what I've got here. I call this the GLF Plus follow-up sequence, of course, by Matthew Kink. GLF is short for the gain, logic, fear sequence that you may see in Ryan Deiss's The Machine. So if you're familiar with that, that's where GLF comes from. And I added the plus on it. So we're going to call this GLF Plus. Let's take a look at what normal GLF looks like here. Real quick, here's what a basic functional funnel looks like. And if you're brand new to internet marketing, this might look a little bit complex, complicated, and chances are, if you're brand new, it might be. This is some advanced stuff. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt. This is the real stuff right here. This is what you should strive to do. All right, so a normal functioning funnel starts with an opt-in page. You're going to drive traffic over to, you're going to get their name and email address. You're going to drive them over to a Tripwire offer. Tripwire is a low-priced, maybe somewhere between $7 and $27. It could be more, but I'm not going to get into that right now. From there, you're going to get people, you're going to try and bump a higher priced product, maybe $47, and then they're going to buy so that you can drive them to the thank you page, which is where you thank them and then simultaneously offer them something else with a one-click upsell. That's your OTO, one-time offer. From there, let's say they don't take the upsell, you offer them like a payment plan or something else, or whatever it is that you have to downsell them. That's something you come up with in your strategy session. Let's say they either take the upsell or they don't, whatever the case may be, you're going to send them to a final confirmation page, and or if you're really feeling dicey, you could send them to an OTO number 2 and try and upsell a second product. Now here's where the GLF comes in. You send them a sequence of 3 emails. 1, gain. 2, logic. 3, fear-based. So you're going to send that first one. Let's say they opt in, but they never buy your $7 product. You're going to send them an email that just says, hey, I just want to let you know that I just sent you this, and this is something that you probably want. So I'm going to send you back over here to the Tripwire offer page, and hopefully you'll buy it. And they're either going to buy it or they're not. Let's say they do. Great. Now you're going to send them back through that funnel. All right. Email number 2, gain or not gain, logic. So now you're going to try and put a little bit of logic into your discussion in the email and make it sound like, oh man, that really is a pretty logical choice, and this is why they want it. So instead of telling them, trying to appeal to the side of them that just wants, where they're going to gain something, you appeal to their logical senses and you drive them back to the Tripwire. Now, know that if they buy on the first email, you're not going to send them the additional emails. You're going to have, and that's going to be automated. They'll be taken off of this list that has these 3 emails. Email number 3, this is fear-based. This is where you're telling, look, dingbat, you didn't buy the first 2 times. I'm starting to think you may not be the brightest dummy in the world. All right? But I'm going to give you one more chance because I like you. So here it is. I'm going to send you back to the Tripwire offer, and if you don't buy, you're not going to have another option to buy this. That's your problem, not mine. Go buy it. If you don't get it, don't come crying back to me and go, hey, it's not available, right? Okay. Now, let's talk about the GLF Plus sequence. This came from me. This is your automated email sequence where we're really going to put we're going to put some puzzle pieces into this that takes that sequence that we just looked at and takes it to the next level. Instead of driving people back to that same Tripwire page or send it, let's say they buy the Tripwire, then you're just going to send that GLF sequence to your one-time offer, your upsell, so it might be $197, whatever it is. That's where you're going to send traffic. So in this case, we're going to assume that your people have bought the $7 product and now they're going to buy a $197 product. So what we want to do is drive them over the course of 5 emails, not 3. That's why we call it GLF Plus. Plus we got a little extra tenacity in there. We're really going to push this one home so we can get that thousands of dollars that we're leaving on the table, and we are going to really drive this home. We're going to make them want that, and we're going to put a couple extra $1,000 on our table at the end of the week. All right, so let's look at the sequence. Right here, starting with email day 1, that's your gain sequence here. You're going to drive people to an order page, back to that one-time order page. That's your $197 product. What is it? Where again, we're using the gain. You're going to appeal to their wants and needs and just go, yeah, you know what, that's something cool. That's what I want. So it's really not as pushy as what it could be. This is the beginning of that sequence. We still want them to go back, but we also have 4 other days. We don't want to really upset them, piss them off right up front. So we want to kind of edge our way in and tell them, hey, look, dude, I sent you this, but you didn't get it. You're an idiot. You should probably go back and get it, but don't say that yet. So anyway, from there, hopefully, like I said, that's the gain one. So you're just going to kind of keep the email simple, and from there, you're either going to confirm that sale or send them to a one-time offer number 2 and continue the sequence. Now, that being said, instead of driving them back through the same funnel, which is what most people do normally, you're going to drive them back to a different funnel, a 2-page funnel. Okay? It's an order page. You're going to drive them to an order page with some copy and an order page, a 2-step order form on the right side, so hopefully they buy it. That way they don't have to go through a bunch of pages. All right? So order number 1, you're going to send them there. If they buy, send them to a confirmation page. Way too easy. Okay? Let's go. Day number 2, you're going to drive them back to another funnel page, another 2-page funnel. This is a good way to track which funnels they're going through as well. So here instead of we're going to send them a training video. We're going to send them a little bit of value. We're going to do the same thing. Another page with maybe a slight variance in copy, possible video. So if you put a video on here, it's going to be different than the day 1 email. From there, they're going to go to a confirmation page or a one-time offer number 2. My recommendation, just keep it easy. They've already bought something, but we want them to buy something else. It's $200 or more, so you're just going to stop there. Or if you want, by all means, I'm not here to, just make one sale. If you want to try and sell them on something else, a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. If they bought your $7 product and then they buy a $200 product, there's a good chance they might buy another $200 product that you have laying around. So offer them something else. That's why we have ClickFunnels. That's why we do what we do. Okay, day 3. Is it starting to get redundant yet? Are you starting to see the order? We're going to send them to another 2-page funnel, another order page, but this one is going to use logic and a hint of scarcity. So we're going to let them know, hey, the clock is ticking. This thing's coming to an end. At some point, this is going to end, so you better buy what I have, or you're not going to have another opportunity. So now they buy, that's cool, whatever, and then they go to the confirmation page where you can sell them something else. Keep in mind, if they buy on day 1 or on day 2, you will discontinue the rest of this sequence. They will not get all of these emails and all of these funnels. Okay? We're using each of these emails and each of these funnels to try and build value, show our authority, show what we know, so that and use the gain, logic, fear to really hone this whole system together, pull this whole system together and get them to buy. All right, day 4. I think you're starting to get it. We're going to put them through a 4th funnel, one-time offer order page. This one uses the vulnerable story, okay? So now you're going to get on there and kind of, most people, they feel vulnerable. That's a story that's going to pull people in. Tell them your story. Tell them why you do what you do. Tell them what your woes are, why you do what you do. Maybe, your mom died of cancer, and you do what you do now because you want to carry her, her legend on or something. Okay? Then if that's the case, then use it. Use what you have to your advantage and really get them to know and like and love you. Make them go, what, man, that'd be a real dick not to buy from this guy now. Shoot. And then they buy, and then they go to your one-click upsell, and they buy more. Okay? Day 5, this is the last one. You're gonna drive some scarcity into this one. You're gonna put the fear of God into them, like they're not gonna have the opportunity to buy this product again if they don't buy now. So you're gonna be like, hey, dudes, I've been at this for 5 days. You didn't get this yet. You must not really want to get better at whatever it is that you're doing. So if you haven't gotten this yet, you have 24 hours starting at the time that they drop onto that page. Thanks to ClickFunnels, we can do that. And then you can have that page discontinue and go and redirect to another page that says, sucker, should have bought the other day, shouldn't you have? All right, so that's day 5. You're going to drive them to that fear-based page. So we have the whole sequence. Gain, we have logic, and then we have the vulnerable story, where we're going to have a little bit of the logic and a little bit of the fear in the vulnerable story so that we can drive them home. So that's why we call this the GLF Plus. So everything's there. You've got 5 funnels, each using a different type of sales page, basically the same one. You could probably make the same one, copy it, and then vary up the copy on those pages, but for the most part, the structure, the look and feel, everything's the same. So you might have a different video or maybe slight variance in the copy on each one of those pages, but it shouldn't take a long time. This is not that complicated to pull off, especially with the duplicate feature in most funnel building software programs out there. All right, now what happens if they get all the way to the end of this and they don't buy? All right, here's what's going to happen. First of all, fear and scarcity drive sales. So the more emails that you send and you try and get that, you can even send emails after the fact, or you just keep on driving them back to that, send 2 or 3 more emails that drives them back into that last one-time offer page there that I had on the other page. So let's say you have a $197 product. You get people on there, the 24-hour countdown starts. If you want to put 12 hours on there, you can do that too. I don't care. If you want to put a random time on there so it just looks like the timer actually stops at some point, that's totally evergreen. It's kind of false scarcity, but at the same time it generally works. Regardless of what kind of scarcity is, that page is going to redirect at that time, and they're not going to have the opportunity to get it. So they better get on there and they better get it. That to me is real. Okay, so fear of loss is something that will drive your sales. I guarantee it. So what happens if they don't get it? That page at the end of that timer, when it runs down to 0, you're going to direct them to another, technically a 6th funnel page, which I didn't even draw out there, but it's going to go to a 6th one where they have the opportunity. You can just copy one of your other pages. It's the same thing, but instead of being able to buy it at the discounted rate, you're going to do a price hike rate, and you're going to take away any bonuses that you were offering before. Chances are they're not going to buy, but at least they can see, hey, you know what? They had 5 days. If they didn't buy it, that's their own freaking fault. They can get their opportunity the next time this comes around. So that is the GLF Plus sequence. I hope that made complete and utter sense after putting that out. I think that's one of the cleanest, most organized methods of selling a higher priced product on the backside, and you really want to hone in on that, not for a tripwire sale, but for the $200 sale. For a tripwire, just use your regular GLF. All right, but you want to see if you get your buyer. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. If you get a buyer, send them through the GLF Plus. Okay, that's going to sell more stuff, and you're going to have thousands of dollars more left on the bottom line at the end of this 5-day sequence. I guarantee it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions or you'd like me to help you put together a strategy of some sort that will work for you, go to funnel.works and put in a quick email to me, and I'll help you out. All right? Take care, guys.